Our next nominee is born in Sion. We have a Valaisan. Raymond Loretan is a Swiss legal expert, a diplomat, and a corporate leader. He served as a Swiss ambassador in Singapore and as a general consul in New York. Combining his diplomatic experience with a focus on governance and innovation, he is also serving as a leader in various businesses, including the Swiss Medical Network, which is his current main position, but he's also the president of the Grand Prix de l'Horlogerie. He is also the president of the Genollet Foundation, which support healthcare access for disadvantaged communities. Et j'ajouterais qu'il dit de lui que c'est un homme en mouvement constant, toujours à l'affût des prochaines actions. Je suis très heureuse d'accueillir Raymond Loretan. Welcome, Raymond. So Raymond, we'll start with the first question. What has been one of the most inspiring experiences of your life?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me, and it feels a little bit strange to speak English here in Bruges, where it's my home, actually, and it's also the home of my family. I had many inspiring experiences. One experience was a disruptive one, and you will be surprised, it was the New York Marathon. In 2004, I was consul general in New York, and I saw this marathon. I was welcoming the Swiss runners, and I saw this guy ending after 4 hours, 4 hours 30. Guys who were not sportive looking, slightly overweight, and I thought, well, I think I can do it too. And the next year, in 2005, I decided to give to myself a present for my 50th birthday, and I ran the marathon. And the experience of training for a marathon and running a marathon showed me that you can surpass yourself. You can change your life, because I was not a sportive. And it was a very big element for me to decide to change life. And in 2006, actually, I totally changed life. I got out of my comfort zone, and I quit the diplomatic service and the civil service, which was for me a golden cage. And I started a company with friends here with 1 or 2 clinics, which is today the Avis Group and the Swiss Medical Network. Great adventure.
Running the marathon has been the trigger for you to change your career.
Yes, because you can prove to yourself that you can change something, that you can surpass yourself. And you know, training, it's very long. You have to make 1 hour training, 2 hours training, and what do you do during training? Well, you start to learn to also to meditate. You have to keep yourself busy and to meditate about your life and meditate about the opportunity to take new risks, to meditate about going out of your comfort zone. And frankly speaking, it was very helpful for me to take this big decision. I didn't have to quit. It was very comfortable to change my life.
Interesting. Thank you, Raymond. We have a question from our partner, Grand Montana Tourisme. In your opinion, what are the key success criteria to make from Grand Montana an even more attractive place for investors and businesses? What are for you the most important?
I think Grand Montana has all the elements to be one of the main economic places, including in Valais. You have really all the elements, and what you join is the experience of nature, the inspiration of nature. I always saw here you find the 4 elements. You find air, fresh air, that's the origin of Grand Montana. You find water. You find fire, the fire of entrepreneurship, and you find earth and forest and everything. And I think to combine this element with a company which you can today run from far with teletravail and so on, it's quite an ideal place to work.
Totally right. We have another question.
And it's becoming a city. It's a city in the Alps. You know, people say, well, we like villages. I like this city in the Alps. I think it's quite unique. And it's a great advantage to sell also.
a city is nice as long as we can keep the mountains virgin. That's what we also love, to make sure that we can keep hiking, feeling in silence and enjoying the nature. So a last question from the jury. You have roots in Valais, you mentioned it. So how has your background been really influenced by the roots you have here? What are the values that maybe guided you throughout your career, including working in Singapore or in New York? Are there some key values from this region that guided you throughout your life?
You know, it's well known that Valaisans has characters, and they know what they want. And I think that's very important when you want to achieve goals. You need to know what you want. On the other hand, you know that the world is complicated. So you have to conciliate different people, different character, different interests, and so on. And I think the diplomatic experience in this sense is very important and was very useful to me, including now. You know, I'm in different business, as you said, Swiss Medical Network, but also horologery, cinema, and so on. And to create consensus with people. And at the same time, to lead projects, see if you have a vision, and at the same time you can put people together behind this vision, I think that's the key to success.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. We'll come back to our second part, and that's when you can also play a role, because you will vote for the false affirmation. So, Raymond, I'll let you share with us these 3 credible affirmations.
Well, first of all, in Singapore, it's maybe true that I lent a pair of shorts to a federal councillor to demonstrate the handstand position. This is a yoga position when you are on your head.
Le poirier.
That's the first one.
Second
one, also an interesting experience in Carnegie Hall in New York, to sing in Swiss German with yodeling, with a very interesting personality, which was the sexologist and writer Dr. Ruth Westheimer. I'm sure you know her all. She wrote a chronicle in
I'm not sure whether we know her all, but we want to know more.
She passed away, unfortunately, last year.
And the third affirmation?
Yes, I am slightly a little bit in yoga and meditation, so I had the opportunity to meditate one-on-one with the famous guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar in Geneva on the occasion of one of his visits there.
But you did not meditate with a sexologist?
I sang with the sexologist.
That's different. Okay, so make sure that you choose the one that you believe is probably the false affirmation. We are quite curious. We'll leave you a few seconds. As I said, I have no idea about what is right, what is not right, so I'm discovering that together with you. Let's see. Well, there is...
It's not credible, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Well, so at this moment, the first
one...
You don't
believe that a federal councillor can be a yogi.
Hesitation. But indeed, it seems like the first one does not get credibility. Tell us about it.
I don't know. It's finished? The vote is finished?
I think you can share with us.
Okay. The first one is true.
It is true.
Of course. And Federal Councillor Ogi, not Yogi, but Ogi, and he is a lover of Kromotana and of Bluch, on his way to Seoul, where we were running for the Olympics, and I was also in this international committee. He made the stopover in Singapore on his way to, and he had an evening free. I was not there. I was
so why don't we do handstands?
And my kids were there, and he was explaining that he was making exercise every day and doing the handstand and so on. My kid challenged him. Said, well, do it. He said, well, I'm not equipped. Well, wait, Raymond has a pair of shorts. He put the short on, and in the middle of the living room, he made the handstand. True.
So this is true. So which is the one that is false, then?
The false is the third one, because I did not meditate with Ravi Shankar, but I debated with him We didn't have time to meditate, and we debated of the importance of meditation. And where we did not agree on is for me, meditation is useful if it's a source of inspiration and if it afterwards transforms into action. Because meditate only is not very useful.
So you had a good debate, but it did not convince you to start meditation.
No, but he invited me to meditate with him in India, which I did not do because I can meditate with him from here.
That's the power of meditation.
The whole point about meditation.
So, well, then indeed, the second one is right. So you have to tell us a bit more about the sexologist.
Ruth Westheimer, she was, as a young child, she was saved by Switzerland from the camps, from the extermination camps. His whole family was exterminated in Auschwitz. And she was saved in Appenzell. And of course, she was not only a sexologist, but she was also in the secret Israeli army. She was a sharpshooter. And she became a very good friend of mine because she had another story. But she became a very good friend of mine and also a very good ambassador for Switzerland. And she wrote her book about singing in my life. And she wanted to launch this book at the Carnegie Hall. And she said, Raymond, come and you make a speech. And I went there, of course, as ambassador. I used singing as a diplomatic instrument several times. And then she invited me on the scene to make my speech. It was a very difficult time because it was after this Holocaust money story. We had to rebuild the confidence with the Jewish community in America, but also in New York. And so instead of making a speech, I sang. I sang the song that she was singing in Appenzell when she was sad. I learned this song, and she came on the stage, and we sang together.
Wow.
And afterwards, we sang also a very good traditional Swiss song with yodeling.
Wow, that must have been an impressive evening.
It was a beautiful moment, a beautiful message. And at the end, in the whole public audience sang with us. It was beautiful.
Really nice. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you very much. So we have our last part with your questions. So get ready if you have some. And the first one is from the partner Emile Frey. What is your greatest achievement? What have you learned from it? And I really like the second part of the question. What would you say to the 20 years old self?
Okay, I'll start with the second part. Dare. Get out of your comfort zone. Believe in your dreams, because I think that dreams and utopia are the reality of tomorrow. And very often I change jobs. It's true, and every time I apply this rule, it's the sum of the past experience plus a challenge, something you don't know yet how you're going to master it. So just have the courage to do it. Just launch it. Let go. The first thing, my greatest achievement, I think it's going to ahead of me. I cannot judge. I change very often. What I can say is everywhere where I go, it's bound to projects. I need to have something to develop. I'm not a manager. I'm a developer. And I want to develop a vision, to develop ideas, to bring the companies or the organization I'm in ahead.
So the greatest achievement is ahead.
Well, I hope to continue this way.
I wish you that, absolutely. And we have our next question. Pensez-vous qu'il y a un âge limite pour se dépasser? Bon, je pense qu'on vient d'entendre la réponse, clairement. Donc à mon avis, on peut vraiment directement aller à la question suivante.
Non. Parce que
alors, allez-y.
I think here there is an age of movement, of action, and there's also an age of transmission. In my age, I'm going to be 70 next year, I think I come in the moment where the main challenge or my main task is to give to others what I learned through life. It's not so more to develop new projects and so on, but to give the chance to put ahead, to put on a platform to young people, the new generation, and let them take the lead.
Time for transmission.
Yes.
What was a crucial factor that led you to leave the diplomatic sector? Well, we heard about the marathon.
Yes, but there were other factors. But the main factor is to get out of a golden cage. You know, when you're ambassador, we are very comfortable. Yes, you're in an important position, but everything, you have a residence, you have a chauffeur, you end. And you come back to Switzerland, you are in administration, you have a salary at the end of the month, and so on. You have a title, you have, you're famous, and so on. And it's too comfortable. I was 10-year ambassador, and with 52, I thought it's time to get out of this and to try something new, and that was really the trigger. And I always say I went from Park Avenue to Les Paquis à Genève, which was my new apartment in Geneva, and I started with no idea, because I became chairman of Swiss Medical Network, but there were 3 clinics, you know. Now we are 22, I don't want to talk about this, but and it was quite a challenge. And to rebuild something, for this, you need also the support of your family, of course. Without this, you cannot do it. But it was that was the decision. I bound it to the marathon. Marathon was one of the elements, but this decision to really get out of the comfort zone and to start something new, you realize that it's risky after you did it, you know, very often. You take the risk because there is the challenge, because there is the adrenaline, because there is the drive, because you know there is a vision to realize. But when you are in the Paquis, you say, are you crazy? But it worked.
But you mentioned it, daring is critical.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Raymond. It was great to discuss with you today. Thank you.